breaking everything down.
Okay.
You're a lot taller than we are.
Yeah, always have been. Before I get started, I just want to say that everything that was said was very, very nice. And it made me fully understand the meaning of the older I get, the better I was. I just didn't realize how old I was. A big thank you goes out to John Kamados and Bobby Zuck and the Friends of Bethpage. I tried to find out a little bit more about this. John, I'm finding out, is a humble guy. Really doesn't want credit, but he's going to have to hang with him right now. We're here because without them and without the idea and without the follow-through, we wouldn't be here today, and there wouldn't be a Wall of Fame at Bethpage High School. So thank you very much. I want to acknowledge my family. My family's come here to spend this special day with me. First, I want to my incredible wife, Jennifer, and my daughter, Sophia, and my son, Giovanni. The kids were elated to get on the plane with Mom and Dad and fly to New York again. My mother, Jenny, is here from Florida. Thank you, Mom. My sister Annette, class of 72 at Bethpage High School, is here with her husband, Ed Day.
There you go.
My brother Bobby, class of 75, is here with his son, AJ, my nephew, and his partner, Heather Clark. Heather is here.
Heather.
And there's no doubt in my mind that my dad is here too.
You got it, baby. You got it.
He and Mom were my best fans. I also want to thank everybody who's taken the time out of their day and out of their weekend to come here. I know we're all busy. We all have things to do and we all have our own lives. And the mere fact that you decided to drop things to come here and see me and see some of the other people, Mary Shavetta, I can't thank you enough. Mark stole some of my thunder with Mary Shavetta. Dan Shavetta, Mary's father, was my 5th and 6th grade teacher. And I remember Dan Shavetta as probably the best teacher I had in the Bethpage School District. And that's not to minimize the others. There was just something about him. He was very different for an elementary school teacher. He was my teacher for 2 years in elementary school, but I want to make a point that it's 2 separate grades. He started each day with current events. Current events became a subject in our class. He'd walk to the front of the room with a New York Times, and he'd start reading the newspaper to us.
He did it to us.
But we also had copies. He made every student in the class had a subscription of the New York Times, and we went through that thing front to back. He also gave every one of the students in the class an imaginary $2,000 to invest in the stock market in September, and awarded the prize to the one student who earned the most money over the school year. And in the 2 years that I was a student with Dan Shavetta, Tom O'Brien sunk all his money into Xerox and cleaned house. I believe he won the award both years. Am I right?
Is Tommy here?
Oh, it's supposed to be, but I haven't seen him.
As far back as I can recall, I always wanted to be a baseball player. I always knew what I wanted, but I didn't really know how to go about doing it. I always wondered, are young boys from Bethpage eligible for the big leagues? When I was in junior high school,
Arm's getting tired.
really kind of reminds me of a story here. Allow me to digress. When I was in junior high school, it was the 8th grade, I was getting ready to go into high school. And at that time, there was a mandatory meeting with the guidance counselor. The guidance counselor would talk to us about the curriculum that we would choose as we went through high school. And my mother was with me, and we sat down. The meeting began with the guidance counselor looking across her desk and saying, "Joe, tell me what you'd like to be when you grow up." And I said, "Well, I'd like to be a baseball player." And, I see a smile come to her face, and I think she thought I didn't hear the question because she asked it again. And I said, "Really, I want to be a baseball player." And then she laughed a little louder. And she said, "Well, let me word that question a little bit differently." She said, if you can't become a baseball player, and that's not a possibility, what would you want to do? What would you like to be? So actually, I'd never thought of that. And so I said to her, "Well, electrical engineer." So she said, "Good, now we're getting somewhere." And she said, "Tell me what you know about what an electrical engineer does." I said, "Well, I really don't know because I want to be a baseball player." And that's about as far as that conversation went because she wasn't going to get me off of that idea. But long before that meeting with my guidance counselor, my journey into baseball began with my father and his passion and love for the game. I shared this passion with him during those New York Yankee dynasty days. The Yankees at that time played in 9 World Series in 10 years. And so imagine a young boy from the age of about 7 to 14 or 15 or 16. The Yankees in the World Series every October, or just about every October. And I was in love with the game, and I was in love with the Yankees. And Mickey Mantle was my man. So now I'm trying to tie in this shirt. Never played for the Yankees. But this is a shirt that was given to me this past June by my always generous, always very generous mother-in-law. It's a limited edition Tommy Bahama Mickey Mantle shirt. All right. And I figured it would go over well here, for sure. So I want to thank my mother-in-law, Tony, who's back home in California. At this moment, I'm filled with great gratitude. I'm honored and humbled to be before you today. It was a lot easier for me to be a celebrity when I was in my 20s and 30s and still wearing the uniform each day, while performing in front of people who knew me only as a baseball player. I don't consider myself a celebrity today, however, because I'm in the company of the people who knew me way back. Once the uniform came off, I became just another friend, neighbor, husband, father. And I'm rather, certainly at home, a low-key guy whose main focus is my family and my job. I grew up here like most of you, and I see a lot of familiar faces. It's so, to me, the biggest thrill was going to be to get to see people I haven't seen in so long. We came from very similar backgrounds. We grew up doing the same things. We were different, yet we were the same. We grew up and went our separate ways. But when you examine it all very closely, you'll find that we all contain some of the same fabric. And that's the fabric which is Bethpage. I've been blessed in life, and I truly mean this, I've never lost sight of the fact that I've been blessed in life and I've achieved things that I'm proud of. I played Major League Baseball. I played in the Major League All-Star Game. I played in 3 postseason playoff series and 1 World Series. I've met 4 presidents and I've traveled around the world, all because of this baseball thing. And the honor, I want you to know that the honor bestowed upon me today will rank right up there with those just mentioned, because I'm sharing it with the people who know me the best. I also know that I'm one of the very few who can actually say that I lived a dream. I lived my dream, proving that when opportunity and preparation come together, the sky is the limit. Now, I'm not saying one cannot be happy and successful in life unless he or she is a professional athlete. But please understand that for me, I could not have written a better script. And to the young people who are here, find something which you have a passion. Make it something you love. Work hard at it and be as good as you can possibly be. Have the goal in life to where someday you can say what I just said. I lived my dream. I appreciate every one of you coming out here again today. And I do want to say hello to each and every one of you. Do not hesitate to approach me. Come over, say hello. Some of you I recognize, some I don't. But I'd like to say hello to you and thank you again. Thank you.